This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
The federal government has announced plans to toll major highways across the country, starting with the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano highway as soon as its construction is completed. The decision was communicated by Minister of Works, Mr. Dave Umahi, who says that tolling the roads will enable the federal government to maintain the roads. Joining the conversation is Babatunde Erinjogunla, a finance and public policy expert. Good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us on the conversation.
Good morning.
Fantastic. Sir, what is your reaction to this statement out of the federal government?
Well, thank you for having me, and good morning, Nigeria. This statement is all about, developing our infrastructure asset base, and road infrastructure is a critical part of that. And doing that costs a lot of money. We know we have been experiencing very bad roads across the country, and responsible government must do what is right to make sure that they deliver, usable roads across the country. And that comes with a lot of investment. And we know the situation of the country from where we're coming from and where we are. So the past government have been working to raise funds using all sort of structure that is sustainable to get the job done. And part of that is that the job will be done and it has to be used, and payment we have to pay back. So it's not out of place at all that government is now bringing back tolling after 20 years, because it was last stopped about 2003, 2004, by the federal government. The need to bring when it was stopped, it was replaced by, the intention was to introduce 5% petrol tax. But this time we know issues around our petrol, exchange rate and all of that. So this is another way of raising money to provide value for us in terms of road network and its maintenance. So I think it's a necessary thing at this stage. Nigerians must, welcome it and support it, provided the government, engage with it in the right way.
So, sir, perhaps we should move to the implementation of this policy at such a time. We already know what the cost of living is like across the country and across different basic necessities, if you like. And we've seen what the reaction of the people has been to these increases. How do you think the government should manage what Nigerians are likely to perceive as just another added burden on their pockets? How should the government manage the need to maintain those roads versus the need to understand where the people are coming from financially?
Okay, thank you. It's very important for government to always get the buy-ins of the people. If everybody knows what the problem is, they will be part of the solution. And the sincerity of purpose around implementation is very important. The problem with Nigeria and government is actually that people don't get to see value from all of the initiatives the government is doing, especially when it involves public funding. If government uses public funds or borrowed money through its structures or powers to create value for the country, it's only expected that government should show the process through that value addition has impact in the lives of every Nigerian. And when people pay for something, they must get service. And so all of these things put together, those are things government need to do to buy trust and invest in trust and make sure that implementation of the newly introduced tolling across the country, because you'll see more of tolling across the country. If we have to do it, this government is coming to terms with the fact that Christmas is over. We just have to leave the reality of the modern world where people pay for services. But government must make sure that that service is there and value is being created. If people pay for something and they get value out of it and they create wealth out of it, I'm sure there will be less concern with that. The problem we have is that when we do this type of project and government takes the revenue, people don't get to see that this revenue they take is being used for what they said they will use it for.
Right.
And again, I hope they will deliver the service that the tolling arrangement is meant to bring to the people of Nigeria.
So I hear you when you say, especially when you say that you hope to see, the value of this service as, delivered by the government to the people of Nigeria. But I'm curious about the statement in and of itself. Now, the Minister of Works did say that until the roads are 100% complete, tolls will not apply. But I'm curious as to the idea of repaying it back. Would it be an easier pill to swallow if Nigerians knew how long the roads were being tolled for, or if we got regular updates at various points regarding the plan to repay the investment that went into building the roads in the first place?
Well, that is what I was alluding to when I mentioned the fact that government must be transparent and get the buy-in of people. How do you get the buy-in of people? It's by coming straight and transparent to them. If you took loan, for instance, the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano road that has been told, it said the construction cost, the loan they took was $460.80 million, and the cost of it was $500 million, for 542 or thereabout. So that portion of the loan they took was an 85% from China Exim Bank. So they should have done the extrapolate and tell Nigerians it's going to take us 25 years. We'll be paying this much interest rate. We'll be using extra money we get from it to maintain the roads, and all of that. And people can see end to end what the government is talking about. And when that happens, the investment community will come in and be able to even see how they can put instruments around paying government upfront. And now local businesses will be, local investors will invest in the road, and it becomes their own. And you can see the commitment to it, how they will improve it and all that. That's how to deepen investment products and services in the country and extend wealth creation to the people. We create wealth through products like this from, organized private sector, public sector, and the Nigerian people. This type of roads can be listed on the floor of Nigerian exchange through approved private investors or group of investors. So all of these things needs to be transparent. You don't now ask people to pay toll and you are still using taxes or revenue from other sources, from public fund, to be paying when the revenue from the toll we are collecting, we cannot account for it. The process of tolling itself must be made easy for people. It mustn't be a difficult process. So there are so many technologies around the world that the government should deploy rather than using the usual hand collection and all of that. And in addition to that,
if I may, I'm glad that you mentioned this particular highway and you talk about technologies, because as we understand it, there are, I think, 4 electronic toll points along the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano road. And there's a list. Yeah. We already have a sense of what the vehicles are paying. If you're in a 4-door sedan or a saloon car, you're paying 500 naira. And then on the upper end, multi-axis vehicles are paying 1,600 naira. And since you brought the finances into the mix, I wonder what your thoughts are on these figures, considering, one, the value of the naira, possible continued devaluation if we carry on, or even increase in valuation as we carry on, and whether these amounts are, if you like, decent or fair amounts for citizens to be paying.
Thank you. Quite frankly, I hope Nigerians will listen to this, is that the amount is fair in all fairness. In European countries like France, the minimum you pay for tolling is about 10 to 50 euro, okay? And we've seen even in the US and UK, that is just the cheapest I've heard around the world, okay? And the percentage of road toll in Nigeria is still very minimal, it's still low. In Spain, they have up to 30% of their road tolled. In Italy, virtually all their roads are tolled. In Ghana, you have up to 38, roads tolled with about 100 routes. So all around the world, it is the practice. So what we need to do is to build from where we are now. And I'm sure government came up with the 500. And if you look at it, 500 is just it's not up to £1 really anymore. It's not up to $1. You understand? So it's almost nothing if you dollarize it and put it to international standard. But we know that Nigerians don't earn dollars. So the bottom line for us is that government is trying to be reflective of the income level of people and match it to, maybe they will use the tenor or the volume of vehicles there to cover the cost. But if they are doing that, they need to be transparent. There has to be operational compliance, operational arrangement in place where people will understand what government is doing, and at a glance, they can see it. Maybe there will be spot reporting, periodic reporting, and government can build trust through this new initiative, and they can do more to improve the quality of roads across the country. Let me quickly add that there is another unseen value to this tolling of road, which is the internal security of our road networks. If roads are tolled, that means people must be present around the road to check what is going on, maintain it, and order. So the time people stay on road and engage in the road will improve the quality of security, internal security in the country. For instance, in Ghana, some of the polling booths there or polling points are now police stations. That's the recent proposals. So it's added value will come through tolling arrangement for the country. That's the point I'm making.
Mr. Erinjogola, thank you very much for your time and your expertise on this conversation. Babatunde Erinjogola is a finance and public policy expert. He joined us this morning to speak on the federal government's announcement of its decision to toll roads, major highways across the country as soon as they are completed to 100%. You're still on to Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. We urge you to stay tuned to your Beyond the News station. The conversations continue shortly.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.